The other soldiers drag their incapacitated buddy off the ground, while Jin remains the center of attention. By now, the senior has no doubt about Jin's role in saving Yeona from the kidnappers. Meanwhile, Jie's bodyguard is giving his soldiers death glares. They're all panicking, especially the senior, who's sweating bullets because he's sure he's in big trouble. Then, another soldier, Beomseok Choi, raises his hand and volunteers to spar with Jin too. The senior reminds him that they've already lost to a kid once and doesn't want to look foolish by losing again. But Beomseok, brimming with confidence, says he's really itching to fight Jin after seeing his impressive skills. The senior points out that they can't all just rush at Jin, but Jin says he's totally fine and not exhausted at all. He even adds that he hasn't moved around enough to be tired. This freaks everyone out a bit because after taking down one of their top soldiers, he's practically saying he hasn't even broken a sweat. Seokju lets out a sigh, clearly not surprised by our boy's antics. Beomseok finally steps into the ring, face to face with Jin. While stretching his muscles, he casually asks our boy where he learned to fight like that. Jin then asks if Beomseok isn't going to wear his headgear, to which the soldier confidently replies that he doesn't need it. He tells Jin to go ahead and use one if he wants to. But Jin was only asking for the guy's sake. He doesn't care about headgear either. So he just tosses it aside, surprising Beomseok and even Yeona. That's when Beomseok starts getting cocky, calling Jin a punk and saying he likes his spirit. Jie then curiously asks her bodyguard what he thinks will happen this time. In response, he admits they made the mistake of underestimating Jin earlier, but he's confident they can take him down now. He takes major pride in his men, who train tirelessly every single day. Not to mention, our boy is about to face the ace of the team this time. Jie cracks a smile, eagerly anticipating how Beomseok will handle Jin. Meanwhile, Yona's bodyguard is starting to think Jin might actually lose this round. In a weapon-free fight like this, it all boils down to physical strength, and Beomseok Choi is a jacked-up dude. There's no telling what kind of rigorous training Jin has had, but nothing can make up for the raw strength Beomseok is rocking. As the fight begins, Beomseok, full of bravado, takes his stance and swings at Jin, but our boy casually sidesteps the punch with ease. Jin tries to land a punch on Beomseok, but this dude isn't here to mess around. He dodges Jin's attack quickly and counters with a punch of his own. Jin also tilts to the side to save him and throws another punch, but Beomseok grabs Jin's fist and smirks. He acknowledges that Jin's punch is stronger than he expected based on his appearance. But Jin isn't interested in mid-fight chit-chat. He throws another punch, but Beomseok blocks it effortlessly. He gives Jin props for his great timing, but smirks and scoffs that no one can break his guard with pesky blows like that. But that's where he's dead wrong. Jin quickly swings his leg and lands a solid kick to Beomseok's thigh. The cocky guy is now totally stunned, and the senior's jaw practically hits the floor to see our boy making a hardcore comeback. Then Jin follows up with another brutal kick to Beomseok's leg. By now, Beomseok is absolutely fuming and throws a punch in a fit of frustration, but Jin calmly takes his stance and lands a nasty whack to Beomseok's chin, followed by a few more blows that leave the cocky guy clenching his teeth in frustration. Beomseok tries to swing at Jin again, but our boy deflects it with some slick ninja-like moves. Then, he delivers a solid slap to Beomseok's throat, making him cough up and spit. With a heavy thud, the once muscular guy drops to his knees. The first shocked face we see is Yeona's, quickly followed by Jie and her bodyguard. Meanwhile, Jin just stands there while the muscular guy coughs violently on the ground. Yeona's bodyguard is blown away by how strategically Jin broke Beomseok's upper guard. By striking his knee and then immediately going for the neck, he effectively narrowed the gap in their physical strength. Further attacks on vital points would have completely neutralized Beomseok's advantages. Jin then asks if anyone else is itching for a throwdown, but it's clear no one's eager to step forward. That's when the senior chimes in, telling Jin he shouldn't go for the neck or knees when sparring. Jin, looking genuinely puzzled, asks if there are rules to sparring and apologizes if he broke any since he wasn't aware. The senior quickly clarifies that there aren't really any specific rules, but it's just something he felt like mentioning. Well, deep down, the senior feels like he is just trying to save his sorry face after getting his butt handed over by a high schooler. After witnessing the entire battle, Jie is absolutely certain that it wasn't just a stroke of luck that Jin was able to rescue Yeona, and she wants her bodyguard's take on the matter. The man, clearly pissed off after seeing his soldiers drop like flies, reluctantly admits that from basic training to serious combat, Jin excels in every aspect. Jie smiles thoroughly at this, and then quickly tells everyone to move on to the next course. Everyone is startled, especially Yeona, who has no clue what Jie even means by that. Jie then walks over to Jin and reminds him that since he's here to experience real security duties, it's finally time to see what it's like to be a real bodyguard. Jin listens intently as she explains that since he's paired with Team 2, he'll be escorting her, and she's looking forward to his service. Yeona, however, can tell from a mile away that this woman is cooking up something shady. The next scene takes us into one of the offices inside SW Corp, where we meet the grandpa, who's with a suited guy. This suited guy is amazed that Jin is in the same class as Yeona. He explains that he learned about Jin's background during their research, but it's still a shock to see that codename Jin is actually this young kid. The suited guy adds that Jin's name only came to light a few years ago, which means he was even younger when he first gained recognition. He just can't wrap his head around how this kid could be the same ruthless individual he's heard about.